Everybody, welcome back to Picking Vintage. I'm Bob, and I've been selling for the last several weeks on eBay, trying this new adventure, doing it full time, and so selling through eBay, but also selling through my antique booth. And what I want to show you now is kind of what I've been selling. And first couple weeks it was a little slow actually. It didn't have a whole lot of sales online, but it's really picked up lately. I think part of that is I've been selling a lot more inventory, listing a lot more things. So they've been selling pretty fast, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to show you a handful of things that I've been selling lately. Now this one I've actually had for quite a while. I've been sitting on this for a year, maybe a year and a half that I bought. I often will buy old vintage books, and this was one that I bought in a whole group, a large lot. This is one of the last ones left. Happy to sell it for $15. I maybe paid a quarter for it. Now again, I had to sit on it for a while, but with the books, sometimes you have to find that right buyer. But I was pretty happy with a profit and happy to sell it. Now this one was a quick flip. Actually, I picked this up recently in the Shenandoah Valley Antique Show. I bought two of these. This one was 1946. I bought another one that was 1948. They were both tours of the Grand Canyon. I was able to sell them. I think I got them both for $10 and turned them around for $20 each. So that was, I think, a pretty good buy, pretty good turnaround and profit, and most importantly, selling it quickly. So that was a pretty good one. This one was neat. I picked this up at Brimfield's. I bought a number of toys from the dealer up there. I mentioned in one of my videos. I had a whole bunch of new old stock toys, never been played with. And I picked up a handful of these tanks, and I'm wishing, after I sold this one, I'm wishing that I had bought them all. I sold this one for $50. That includes shipping. I think I paid $12 or $13 for the shipping. So, I might have paid $5 for this tank. Again, it was all in a lot, so it's hard to individually price what was what. But I would say around $5 for this I paid, and so that's a pretty good profit to turn it around. It's a real neat piece. Still have a couple more, I think, to be able to sell. I love old paper, and I loved it when I found these. I bought these several months ago at the flea market. It was in a box full of different paper. And I love digging through that and finding treasures in there. And these were some of them. They were kind of early right-wing newsletters. They were kind of anti-communist during that time frame. This was 1975, so that was, big deal back then. And these are a real neat piece of history. So maybe, say I paid $5 for these. Again, I got them in a box lot that I may have paid $20 for. So for the whole box. So turning these around for 50 bucks, that's pretty good. And then the shipping was extra on top of it. So they were pretty neat. They had all kinds of little information in here. Pro-communist lawyers groups and information about other, mostly Democratic candidates for president, and kind of some dirt on them. It's just kind of an interesting piece of history again. Now sometimes buys don't turn out the way you expected. I actually bought this along with a meter that reads electrical currents. What I didn't realize with the meter is that the battery area was corroded. That's something you should always double check. If it's something electronic, has batteries, you should open up that battery compartment and make sure it's not corroded. I did not do that with this, and so basically if it's corroded, then the device probably is not going to be worth anything. It's not, can't work. But I was able to pull this off of it, and I sold it for $20 and free shipping, but the shipping cost maybe $3. So I might have paid $1 for the original thing, and I was able to turn it around for 20. So that was pretty good. This was a neat find. This was actually in the mountains. I stopped at a yard sale. I was doing a road trip and picked up this for $1. It's a steel case full of glass syringes that were used probably World War II, maybe Korea. and it didn't have the needles on them. It was just the glass syringe case. And I sold this. I actually took a best offer, $50 for this, but I was pretty excited to sell it. It's a neat piece, and again, so I pretty much made $49 profit off of it. Paid $1 at a yard sale. This one was actually a recent buy. I think I highlighted this in one of my videos. During a yard sale, I bought 3 of these Tintypes. 2 of them were just portraits of people, which really don't have much value, maybe $4 or $5 each they go for nowadays. But I knew this one was special because of the horn. And if you see there, I don't know if it's a French horn or a cornet. Maybe somebody else knows, but I listed this for $99. I took a best offer for $60. I was happy to make that money. Again, I may have paid $10 for the 3 photos, $10 or $15 for the 3 photos. So that's a pretty good turnaround and profit there. Happy with that. You know, I don't know much about him. If he was wearing a Civil War uniform, the value would have been much higher, and I would not have taken that offer. But because he's wearing kind of a generic outfit of the time, of the period, you know, the value wasn't quite there as what it might be. And it's hard to say when this one is. It might have been just post Civil War with Tintypes. It's hard to say exactly, but still, I'm happy with the money I made there. This was a quick turnaround as well. This was a vintage Steiff penguin that I bought. So I don't know if you know anything about Steiff, but they're made in Germany. Popular stuffed animals. I bought this at a thrift store for $2.50. I was able to turn around for $27. Now that included the shipping, but the thing is so light, the shipping I think was $3 or so, $3 or $4. So I made, you know, $20, more than $20 on this little piece, and more importantly, I sold it very quickly. I picked it up this week and sold it in a matter of days. Now this next piece, I think I mentioned in one of my early videos. I bought this at a yard sale. This is an 1872 Seth Thomas clock. I had the pendulum. I had a friend try to take a look at it, see if he could get it running, but unfortunately the suspension spring, which holds the pendulum, had a kink in it. So the pendulum would never swing freely for very long. So it would wind up fine, everything else worked, but the pendulum wouldn't stay working. So that definitely affected the value. If I could get it running and I had the glass dome over it, you're looking at a $150, $200 clock there, even with a little damage that it has on the base. So I listed it just the last day or two. I got it up and for $75 and had an offer, sold it immediately and shipped it out this morning. So I was happy about that. Again, I paid $3 for it, was able to turn it around for $75. That's a pretty good profit. Now, like I said, I focus mostly on vintage and antique items, but I keep an eye out for other things because you just never know. And here's one of those cases. So I found this on an online auction, and you know, who would think that a VCR would be worth this much money? Now, I didn't sell it for $2.99. I took a best offer of $200. I included shipping. Shipping was about 25 bucks. So $175. I paid $3 for this and 2 other VCRs. Now, one of the other VCRs I have is the exact same model, but it's not in the box. So that's the big factor with this one. It's because this one is in the box, it's worth that kind of money. Now, the one without the box, I still might be able to sell that for about $50. So, you know, that was kind of a lesson for me is while I'm focused on vintage and antique items, I'm going to keep an eye out for things that still have value and I can turn around and sell. So that's what I bought this, or it was actually what I sold this week. It's been a good week. It's been active. I've got some other ones I've had interest on. I've had folks make offers that I might accept. So continuing to sell. I'll let you know how the journey keeps going. Thanks again for coming along for the ride, and I'll talk to you later.